Sam, I got to tell you, this pork loin recipe is one of my favorite in your repertoire. You know, it's stuffed with all the great things that I like a lot. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's just a cold weather favorite, you know. I mean, ham and Swiss cheese inside a pork loin with a hot bacon honey mustard sauce. I mean, it screams cool weather. Let's warm up.
That kind of pork stuffed pig we got going on
let's go.
there.
Well, I'm going to roll this pork loin out. What we're going to do is stay about 1 inch off the side and come all the way down and leave about 1 inch to a 1/2 inch off the board.
Right.
So we're just opening this thing up, and then we're just going to roll it as we go, kind of keeping a 1/2 inch or so of pork all the way around this thing.
That's beautiful. I do this myself, but I always try to get it too thin so I can wind it up too many times, leaving little holes, and you don't want those.
Yeah. Try to get as many of those holes and stuff out as we can.
Right.
Plus, we're going to use a little ham liner to help with any of those holes if you're a beginner making this thing.
Well, I kind of like that. Now, if this is a little bit too much, you know, for our people to attack, is there another way that we can go about fixing
certainly.
the pork?
Just take your pork loin, set it in your pan, and if you're crunched for time, you're coming home from work, just split it the same way, just straight down the middle though. And we're going to leave about a 1/2 inch on the bottom, and we'll just split it like that. And either way, now we're going to start layering this thing with some ham. I've got some of Kroger brand. It's the rosemary ham.
You know, Kroger has so many different types of ham, you know, Black Forest ham, the rosemary ham, honey baked ham.
I'm just going to layer this half with some of the ham, and now we're going to fill our pork loin.
That's a big chunk of cheese.
Yeah, well, if it comes out, you know, we can always slap it back on top. Everybody loves cheese.
That's right.
Now we're just going to roll this bad boy up the way we had it.
Does that look good?
Now we're at this point.
Now this is not going to hold itself together, right?
No, it will not hold itself together. We're going to wrap it with twine, but first I'm going to season the whole thing because nobody likes to eat twine anyway, so there's no point in seasoning that.
It gives you plenty of fiber though. If you need a little extra fiber, go ahead and eat the twine.
Some kosher salt, a little black pepper, some fresh herbs here. It's thyme, sage, and rosemary.
Could you use dried herbs if you wanted?
Sure. You know,
I'm like you, I prefer the fresh.
Fresh anytime we can, but now we're going to take some butcher's twine and tie this thing up. We're going to start on one end, come up and just make a basic knot on this end.
We've tied things like this before on the show, and it can be the easiest thing that you do or the most frustrating thing that you do.
It can be. It's all about getting used to it. My favorite way to do it, we're just going to take this thing and loop it under the whole front of the pork loin and bring it back to where we want it, about 1 inch. Then start pulling it tight. Use your finger here to where you want your connection to be.
And just loop it through.
Loop it back through the whole thing.
Come down again.
Pull it tight. Now we'll do the whole thing all over again.
You're going about every 2 to 3 inches there on your...
Yeah, about, you know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Should keep it.
And this is not only going to hold it to where the cheese helps to stay in, but it's going to give us a nice shape to where it doesn't fall.
We'll have a nice cylinder pork loin, or roulade style, when we slice it and serve it on the plate.
Right.
Same thing on your simple style. If you don't want to cut and roll or you don't have time for it, this also cuts your cook time down. Like I said, if you're coming home from work, you've just cut your big old pork loin into 2 smaller ones, and you cut your cook time in half too.
Now, one of these big loins is going to take about 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes to cook time-wise, but I always like to cook by temperature.
Right.
And when you do a roulade like that, you want it to be what, about 165?
You want to, yeah, I'd like to pull it out right about 155, 160, and then let it rest 10 minutes. We'll get it up to 165
going to bring itself up to
without
165.
overcooking it. Okay, and that's the simple way. We'll just lay the ham in there like that, and we'll take this straight to the oven like so.
No cheese inside?
No, not on this one particular. On the quick version, we're going to add the cheese the last 20 minutes of cooking.
Okay.
And that'll go in your oven, like the big roulade, that should finish up in about 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, and the smaller one probably about half that time.
You know, I'm not sure I'm even going to let the audience see this because I may just go on home with it.
That's what it looks like when it comes out. Now we're going to start on our sauce to go on top.
A little bit of sauce to go with it?
You give me some heat on this.
I can do that.
We're going to let that pan get a little bit hot. And we got some private selection bacon. I got 4 strips here. We're just going to render this bacon.
Now that's the applewood smoked bacon.
That
is
the
correct?
applewood smoked. Applewood smoke, you can't go with any better bacon for pork.
I'll stir this up a little here. Now we just want to render this down.
Yeah, we're going to use medium to medium-high heat. Just render that bacon crispy. We don't have any butter, any oil, anything in the pan. We're just going to let it cook in its own fat and render itself crispy.
Sam, looks like our bacon is crisped up real nice and rendered our fat.
Yep, we're all ready to go with the rest of the sauce. See, we've got the heat off. We're going to deglaze this little saucepan with just a shot of apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider, just whether it's vinegar or not, I like the sounds of.
Cider vinegar, now we're going with 2 tablespoons of Kroger brand yellow mustard.
Just regular yellow mustard?
Just regular yellow mustard. 1/4 cup of honey.
This is getting better all the time.
And believe it or not, we're going healthy now.
Oh, come on. With all that bacon in there,
with all that bacon
healthy?
and everything, we couldn't fit any more calories, so we're going with the Greek non-fat yogurt.
You know, I like the Greek yogurt. They've pressed a lot of the extra moisture out of it. It's real high in protein, and I like the flavor.
It really renders itself well to this particular sauce.
A little thicker.
You know, it's nice and thick, and you almost get that steakhouse style honey mustard when we get it together here.
Oh, man, that sounds good. If you need me to stir that, you can move on over and...
We'll let you stir that. I'm going to take this pork loin out of the pan here and get that sliced up. We'll remove this twine right now. You're going to start at the end that we started on and just make a simple cut underneath. And now you should be able to just unwind from either end.
Boy, that's looking good.
How's that coming together?
I tell you,
nice and
it's
creamy?
coming together nice and creamy.
All right, we just about got all this twine off of here.
I can hardly wait for this. I got you a plate over here. I know you're going to
nice
slice
plate.
that up for us.
I'm going to take a couple nice slices here. Just cut it in half, and then we'll...
Wow. Wow, look at that, folks.
Nice picture there.
Nice ham in there, the cheese oozing.
A couple nice roulades. We got cheese oozing out. We'll take a little of this cheese that came out over the
That is so moist. I can tell how moist that is just by looking at it.
Throw a little cheese over top. Now just place that sauce right over top, E. Wonderful.
How does that look?
That looks just like I'd serve it at home or in a restaurant.
Okay. After a short break, a rustic cobbler recipe that's so incredible, I don't think I'm going to share it with anybody. We'll be right back.